What's good? What's good? How's everyone doing? Quant is getting cooked. I'm dead. All right, let's take a look at XRP. Finally made a live stream. Yeah, I know. Guys, remember, I'm in Asia, so it's a different time zone than most people. Pip, how dead are we? I'm good. I'm good. So this is XRP over here. And it looks like we did the second scenario. Like I was saying that this is either a, you've been watching Atom for the lower move. Maybe it comes today. Yeah, maybe it comes today. We'll definitely check on Atom. But yeah, for sure. Yo, guys, don't panic. This just looks like we're reaching into oversold territory one more time here. When we take a look specifically at XRP, what I'm thinking, okay, so when we take a look at the entirety of this range over here, what do we see? We see that both sides of the range got swept, right? We swept the range highs, swept the range lows. So now this macro structure is complete with this range. Now within this larger range, we have this smaller range. You see how when we zoom in to the hourly time frame, you see how we swept this high? We're doing the exact same thing, but just on a smaller time frame. So we swept the range high of the larger time frame, swept the range low of the higher time frame. But now when we take a look at this smaller time frame, look what we did over here. We swept the range high here, right, with this guy sweeping this high on February 3rd, and it looks like we're sweeping the range low over here, and we've reached into our oversold territory. Now what you guys can do, it's very simple. What you guys can do is just take a Fibonacci tool. You can find it on the top left here, the first one, and take a fib from this low here on February 2nd up to the highest recorded price within this smaller range. So sitting at 283 on February 14th. And as you guys can see, we've hit the 50% fib over here. So we're seeing a little bit of a push to the upside. We may come up to the retracements, but I expect one more dip into this oversold territory towards the lower fibs. You see this 618 over here? This 618 at 217. This 702 at $2.08, and worst case scenario, I would say, is a move to $1.99. Worst case scenario. The reason I say that is because that's the 78.6% fib. Go below the 786 at $1.99, and that would be bullish invalidation, and we would have to reanalyze this wave count. But so far, this just looks like we're completing our correction. We're very, very close to completing this correction. Okay, because now we already have the first sweep. Now we're working on this second sweep. So it's just going to chop around within this region before grinding its way to the upside. This does look like a classic flat pattern where you have your wave 1, right? So you have your, let me see here. So like from a Wyckoff point of view, this looks like a selling climax, right? This is your automatic rally, your secondary test, your fail breakout, and then you come down for your secondary test in phase B around mid-range. And then you work out a bottom over here, you chop around up and down before we grind our way out of here. So now this is actually better for the bulls, right? Because now we know that because it's having this 5-wave move down here for the C wave, we know that the chop won't be much longer than we thought it would be. Like originally we thought that this would be like that this is a leading diagonal and we would be chopping around in here, oscillating back and forth. But now that we have this 5-wave move down, it looks like the chop is is going to come to an end very soon. So yeah, that's what I see with XRP. CRO, yeah, we'll definitely take a look at CRO. I know someone asked for it. Kava, last time it was liquidations. I feel like this is a hidden hand looking to get this sentiment capitulation. Yeah, it's all the hidden hand for sure. But you know what I said in my last two live streams. The sentiment is only gonna get worse the longer we chop at the lows. Remember that. The longer we chop, actually, sentiment is worse when we chop sideways rather than when we have a straight line down, because it gives people too much time to think, or I should say overthink. And yeah. But yeah, XRP looks good. It still looks good, and I expect a little bit more downside when we complete this wave 4. I mean, the bottom could be in here for sure, and this could be a WXY correction, and then the Y wave would terminate right here. But in order to validate that the correction is done here, I would want to see a move above this 702 at $2.58. For extra confirmation, a move above this 786 here at 262. So around this region is where I would be expecting for XRP to eventually come to. But if we end up coming back here and then getting above 258, 262, then it's likely the correction is done over here. And that instead of this being an ABC correction to the downside, it would just be a WXY, in which we have a 3-wave move within each of the waves. Okay, so you look what we have over here. You have your 3-wave move down, your 3-wave move up, and this could be and this is a 3-wave move as well. So this could be your WXY correction as long as we get above this 702 and 786. If we can't do that, then we could say, oh, okay, this is a ABC where we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5th wave down, and then that's it, right? But XRP is looking good so far. I mean, before we dive into the other coin requests that you guys have, I think it's very important that we watch Total 3 as well. Why is Sol being targeted so hard? You think it'll outperform most on the next leg up? Check out. Okay, so Sol, let me see here. Okay, so Sol, like I said in the last live stream, if Sol kept going down below, let's just take a look at it here, all right? Okay, so we're actually very close to the bullish invalidation level. You see how we're right there at the 786? Let me just delete this stuff here. Okay, so you see how we're right there at the 786? If we go below $138 on Sol, then it's very likely that this is distribution. Like this whole entire range is distribution, and then we could say that this is your wave 5. Your macro wave 5 was put in, and then we're gonna distribute with Bitcoin. However, as long as this 786 holds, then Sol still has hope for a grind to the upside, but it's looking very close to distribution as long as we and it'll be validated if we go below this level at 136.65 on the daily time frame. But yeah, it's either this is distribution if we lose this level, or we still have some room to grind up more. But we'll see how this works out. Let's go back to XRP here, and then I'll take a look at all of your coin requests. So yeah, this is XRP. Just chopping here within this range, and yeah. But let's take a look at Total 3, and then I'll hop in to the coin requests. Upside targets from XRP from here. So here are hit these. Oh, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Okay, so Upside targets for XRP. So after this correction is done, which is extremely close, right? Either we bounce from here or come down a little bit more, but the upside targets we would be looking so far at, let me see here. We would be looking at $2.90 to $3.04. $2.90, $3.04, and $3.20. So these three levels right here, simply because this is the 702, 786, and 886 when we take a fib from our January 16th high down to our February 3rd low. Okay? So I would be expecting a move up to these three levels. And then as soon as you get above $3.04 to $3.20, then you know for sure that we're off to the races. And then if you get above 258 to 262, then you know for sure that this correction is done here, rather than us coming down a little bit more before we finish up the correction. And of course, don't forget the bullish invalidation level, because remember, nothing is a guarantee in the market. This 786 at $1.95 is our bullish invalidation level. I personally don't think it goes down below that low. And this is usually what you see at bottoms. You see this exact same type of chopping structure, right? You have your preliminary supply, your selling climax. So this is your preliminary supply. This is one last upswing before you enter into that selling climax. And then you have an automatic rally. You have your secondary test, your fail breakout, your secondary test in phase B, and then you chop out of the range. Okay, you chop out of the range, so you sweep this low, and this is the exact same thing that XRP is doing, right? Remember, you guys can spot Wyckoff on every single time frame. It's really amazing. So it's either this ST in phase B is done right over here, ST in phase B. That's either finished, or we come down just a little bit more, but this is Wyckoff. Okay, so we'll take a look here at this guy right here. And it's doing the same thing. So, you know, I found something really powerful. And it's if you combine Elliot Wave with Wyckoff, you can really see where the pivot points are going to be, right? And it's the same thing, right? So let's just move this guy down and I'll show you. See, it's the same thing. And then this is the low of your range, which won't get swept. And this is the high of your range. Okay. Now, there's a scenario. There's a scenario in which we're doing schematic 1 right over here. And the only difference between schematic 1 and schematic 2 is that your ST in phase B, which is this guy right over here, it sweeps your selling climax low. Okay? And then we see another pop up from there. That's the only difference. You see how in schematic number 2, it comes down maybe 78.6 to 88.6% of the way. Makes people think we're going to make a new low, but instead we chop to the upside, chop and grind to the upside instead, and have that melt up. For schematic number 1, we actually sweep the low very slightly. Okay, so I would say the worst case scenario would be we sweep $1.77 if we lose $1.99, 1.995. But my bets are placed on this schematic number 2, where we see the grind up from around this region. But yeah, this is XRP. Let's take a look at total 3. I think that's very important to watch. And yeah, we'll take a look at some of your coin requests. So this is total 3 over here. This is the 4-hour time frame with the modified pitchfork. shift pitchfork, right? So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the entirety of this wave count over here, going all the way back from December. And this is your wave count, okay? This is your wave 1. So I'll make the lines thicker so you guys can see. This is your wave 1. This is your wave 2. Came up for our wave 3. WXY for your wave 4 for like 6 to 7 months, almost half a year. And then we have our explosive wave 5, right? Within this explosive wave 5 to the upside, we finished our wave 3. Now we're coming down for our wave 4, and we're just finishing up this wave 4. So here's what I would be expecting on total 3. As you guys can see, we're on the 70.2 to 78.6% Fib support. If we lose 792 billion, then it's likely we'll sweep this low very slightly towards 709 billion and then see a pop up from there. As you guys can see, you see this line over here on the modified shift pitchfork, right? Now all I did to find this fib support is that I just took a trend-based fib from this high, so from the start of the trend to the bottom of the trend and up to the counter trend. Because remember, your B wave or your X wave is your counter trend. As you guys can see, we already hit the 1.236 extension, which is a common target for the Y wave or the C wave to terminate in crypto because it's such a highly over-leveraged market. However, there are scenarios in which we have one more push down to the lower extension, which would be the 1.382 sitting at, let me see here, 709 billion. So that's what I would be expecting. And then we also have confluence with this line over here. What we can also do is take a fib from our wave 2 low up to our wave 3 high. As you guys can see, we've already hit the 61.8% fib. So if we did come down, it would likely just be coming down to this 702 at around the 709, 699 billion region. But so far, like I said in my last live stream, you're going to see the sentiment only get worse from here because of this chop here at the lows. Okay? Now, I know I said that the 749 is our invalidation level. It still is if we get weekly closures below that level, right? But what I'm thinking here is if we do come down, it would just be a wick and then we get bought back up. Okay. But yeah, this is total 3. Looks pretty good so far. What's up? What's up? Is that SC is lower than ST in phase B? Yeah, so it's just the difference between schematic 1 and schematic 2. So I'll show you guys. So you see how schematic 1, instead of it being an ST in phase B, it would be considered a spring. But there's no spring in schematic number 2. It's just called ST in phase B. So in schematic number 2, it's ST in phase B. You come up for a failed break and then your last point of support. For schematic number 1, it's your ST in phase B, your failed break, and instead of your last point of support, it's your spring. And then you grind up from there. So that's the only minor difference between schematic 1 and 2. But what I would be thinking for XRP is that it's doing schematic number 2. Yeah, this could be... No, this would be ST in phase B because we made a new low below this low. So this would be your ST in phase B, and then the chop that comes out of it, that would be your last point of support. So this is your ST in phase B, and then this chop is your last point of support when we get it, right? But yeah, let's take a look at CRV. I know a lot of people are in CRV, so we'll take a look at that. This is CRV. Let's try to find the chart that I put this on. Okay, this is CRV. Okay, so it's still following the structure pretty well. I did say in the last live stream that this green region we marked out, that's where we'll see the chop come in. Okay, so I put this green region on the chart for a reason, right? It's so you guys don't panic if we end up coming back to it as support, right? Going back to August 3rd, we have a 5-wave move up, ABC down for your wave 2, explosive third wave to the top of this, or to the mid range of this macro structure, right? And then we come down for a check back to the 200-day moving average. And then I put this green region on the chart just to show you guys that this is just our manipulation zone. So what I'm thinking here is that this looks like, instead of a WXY, this would be, let me see here, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's just gonna, yeah, I would still consider this a WXY. So maybe this terminates like over here. This is your wave 4. And remember, whenever we come down, you always have to ask yourself, where are we? Where are we on the Fibonacci levels relative to the last low? Okay, now the last swing low was sitting over here on November 4th. So if we take a fib, I'll make it thicker so you guys can see exactly where I placed it, and I'll put the background on it as well. Okay, so now where are we relative to the last low? Where are we? We're on the 61.8% fib, right? Now we're coming down here to the 70.2% fib at around 38 cent. Okay, we may wick down here. Now, that doesn't mean sell it all, because in crypto, you have wicks that, like, you're going to have wicks in crypto that won't really give you enough time to react and put your money back into the market. So if you're holding spot, the best recommendation is to just keep holding, because we've already got most of the move to the downside already done. As you guys can see, we went down already by almost 70% over here. So if we just go down just a bit, that would be the 70.2% fib at around 38 cent. I would say worst case scenario on CRV is we wick down to 38 cent at the 786. That would be the absolute worst case scenario for CRV. And then, yeah, bullish invalidation would be close below the 786. Remember, my invalidation levels are always the 786 to the upside and to the downside. So let's say you have your trend right here, right? If we can't get above the 786, if we can't get above this 786, then it's likely we're going to, it's likely we're still going to come down, right? Maybe make a new low, maybe come down to the supports and then turn up. But if we get above the 786, then you know for sure it's going to hit the 100% fib, right? So if we get above this 786, then you know for sure it's going to hit the 100% fib and above, right? You could say the same thing to the downside as well. So this is, let's say this is your 786. If we end up, now you may see wicks below it, but you mainly want to look for closures on the 4-hour, daily, and weekly. As soon as you get that 4-hour, daily, weekly close below the 786, then it's very likely we're going to go lower. And that whatever bullish bias that you had here would be invalidated. And we see the same thing here for CRV. Currently on the 61.8% fib, with the possibility of wicking down to this 702 at 38 cent. Worst case scenario would be the 786. But yeah, this is CRV. It's just chopping within the lows over here. Remember, bullish invalidation, move below the 786 at 32 cents. But so far, I don't think CRV is going to, the bullish scenario for CRV is going to be invalidated simply because we have such a strong structure here. And we've been within this range or within this falling wedge for 1,200 plus days. So I do think we're going to see that expansion. But we mainly want to be looking towards total 3, right? Either we see a pop up here, and then if you get a close above this band on the modified pitchfork, let me see here. So this level, if we get above 937, that would be pretty good. Okay. So yeah, this is total 3 CRV XRP, looking good. I need this kind of TA for QNT. Yeah, we'll take a look at QNT. Perhaps this indicates that wave 3 and 4 actually should be labeled as wave 1 and 2. Yeah, wave 1 and 2 for sure. Okay, let's take a look at QNT. I thought wave 2s were deeper than wave 4. Yeah, every wave can be really deep in crypto, to the downside and to the upside, right? It's just because of all the over leverage in the market. Something better to say would be because it's such a highly over leveraged market. But yeah, CRO, I know many people are asking for CRO. So we're going to take a look at CRO, and then we're also going to take a look at QNT. All right, CRO or QNT. So QNT, nothing has really changed. I mean, I did say that in the last live stream. So let's take a look here on the 4-hour time frame. So I did say in the last live stream that we did sweep this high. So don't panic if we come down to these Fibonacci support levels. So let me show you the Fibonacci support levels here. Okay, you see how we came down to the 50% and we're seeing a nice push up here back above the 200-day. Let me just remove this box so you guys can see a little bit more clearly. Yeah, right here. I'll make the fibs black so you guys can see through all this TA. But yeah, so it's literally doing the exact same thing as XRP. You see how we swept this high right here? And then we flush back down to the lows of the range. So in the last live stream, I did say that considering we swept this high, a move down to these range lows, it wouldn't be something out of the ordinary. Now, there is a possibility in which we continue on lower to these lower Fibonacci supports from 82 at the 618, $80 at the 702, and around 78 at the 786. So these 3 levels right over here, you're going to see chop, okay? You're going to see chop here. And let me see if this low got swept. Yeah, so I would be looking for this low to get swept very slightly and then see a pop up from there. But overall, when we take a look at what QNT is doing, it's just chopping here at the lows, right? Because we already had our ABC down to the 200-day moving average. Bullish invalidation would be to see a move below this wick at $73. I don't think we get it because the structure is still strong on QNT. Don't forget that we swept both sides of the range over here. We swept the range highs, swept the range lows, moved back up to range highs before we see a check back to clear up all the froth and over leverage and excitement in the market, completely destroy sentiment or any positive sentiment that's out there. Not only destroying it once, but destroying it again with this slam back down to the range low. Okay? So, like I said in the previous streams, the sentiment is only going to get worse the longer we stay at these lows. And this is exactly what the market maker wants in order to shake you guys out of your positions so they can scoop that up. But so far, QNT came down to the 200-day moving average, and it's still consolidating here at the lows. So no significant changes on QNT from the last analysis. Just a move back down to this smaller range that we have here before we should start to see that grind to the upside. And don't forget the Fibonacci levels as well. Let me see. I think I deleted it accidentally here. But yeah, it's on the 786. You guys see this? Take a fib all the way from this low over here in August up to this high. You can see we came down to the 786. I would say worst case scenario, we come down to the 886, but that would likely be bullish invalidation because we're going below 73. But so far, QNT looks good. It's just consolidation at the lows. Yep. We'll take a look at CRO over here. Okay, so this is CRO, and it looks like it came down for a WXY correction. You can even consider this like an ABC correction. I think I actually made a chart over here on CRO. So we'll take a look at this full count here. I either did it on the CoinTrader Pro chart or I did it on, yeah, okay, this is CRO. All right. So we'll go on the weekly right here so you guys can see. We'll make this white. This thing is taking its time here. Let me see. Yeah, so this is CRO. Let's go on the 3-day time frame because this looks a little bit too zoomed out. Okay. Yeah, so this is CRO. We have a 5-wave move to the upside in the form of a leading diagonal. Okay, notice how the waves are overlapping here. That's your leading diagonal for your A wave or your wave 1. You see over here? Let me try to pull up a better chart here. Okay, so you see for your leading diagonal, it's either a wave 1 or it's an A wave, meaning that the third wave that comes after it, it may just be the third wave before you enter into a bear market instead of a impulsive move to the upside. Now, regardless of whether it's a impulsive move up rather than a corrective move up, it's still highly profitable for you within this third leg. Okay, if you capitalize on this B wave correction. Now, we could see the same thing here for CRO. Okay, so this was your leading diagonal right here. Let me see. Leading diagonal like that. Boom. You had your throw over. You had your ABC correction down. And this looks to be like we're just completing this wave 2. So this was your wave 1. And then you have a 3-wave move down in your A, 3-wave move up in your B, and then a 5-wave move to the downside within your C wave. Okay, so likely going to see chop here within this yellow region. But any weekly closures below 0.067, then that would be a bullish invalidation, and then we would likely be coming down for a C wave to make a new low. But you see this diagonal trend line over here? This is your diagonal trend line. Okay? Now, you see how we're dipping below it? like right here. You see how we're kind of dipping below it? That's a good sign. That's a good sign. The reason I say that is because of trend line liquidity. So let's say you have your trend and it's marching its way up, making higher lows and higher highs. What you tend to see in the market is a flush below the diagonal. Everyone goes short upon breaking this diagonal support. And then all of a sudden you have a massive short squeeze to take out all of these traders who are short all the way down. Okay? And it usually happens very rapidly. Like we can take a look at H bar, for example. H bar is a very good example of diagonal trend line liquidity. Like look at this diagonal trend. You guys see that? As soon as you break below this diagonal trend, that's when everyone goes max short. Like they put their whole life savings into the short. And then all of a sudden, you see that huge pop to the upside. So that's what I'm thinking here for CRO. As long as this weekly can stay above 0.067. If the weekly can't stay above that level, then it's likely we're going to go in for a little bit of a larger correction, and then we'll have to reassess. But so far, this is your diagonal trendline support, and we're currently sweeping below it. So this is exactly what I wanted to see here on CRO. That CRO, we took a look at CRV, we took a look at Total 3, XRP, and we got to take a look at some other coins. Yeah, let's take a look. Hey, what's up, man? Hope you all are doing okay. Welcome to the channel, bro. Nice to have you here. We're going to be taking a look at a bunch of coins today. We took a look at CRV. CRV is chopping at the lows. Most of the downside move is already done. And let's see here. All right. ApeCoin. Yeah, we'll come back to ApeCoin. Let's do Link. But before we do Link, we need to take a look at Litecoin. That's the rule. Okay, let's take a look at Litecoin here. Now, I did say in the last live stream that it's possible that we see a flush down to these supports because we're at the range high here. And look where we came down to. We came down to the supports just shy of the 50% fib. We may come down a little bit lower toward these lower fibs, with bullish invalidation being this 786. Okay, that's 786 is your bullish invalidation. Inval. Okay. But eventually I'd be expecting a grind to the upside very similar to that of TEL. When we take a look at TEL, we could see that it did the exact same structure. So I'll show you guys TEL side by side. And this is TEL, you guys see? Same type of accumulation structure in here. The only difference is that TEL blasted off while Bitcoin was stagnant. But because Bitcoin went down here, Litecoin came down a little to these Fibonacci supports, just for a little deviation when comparing both of the coins. Okay, so it's just going to come down to these fib supports. It's already shy of the 50% fib. Let's take a look here on the logarithmic scale, and yeah, it came down to the 38.2% fib here at 113.34. So yeah, Litecoin looks pretty good. I mean, if we did come down, it would likely just be a move to these retracements. Don't forget that whenever you're doing your analysis, always be mindful of the time. How long has the structure been going sideways? How long has the structure been going up? How long has it been going down? This structure here on Litecoin has been going sideways for about 82 days now. Okay, so 82 days of consolidation you know, that's something very noteworthy, right? I mean, if this was like 40 days or 50 days or 60 days, then yeah, like it wouldn't be as significant. But considering this is almost going on for 3 months now, and the lows held so far, and we could see that every time we get pushed up to the top of the range here, it shows that there is inherent strength within this coin. Like even when we take a look at Litecoin versus the Bitcoin pair, right? This is Litecoin versus the Bitcoin pair. This is the 2-week time frame. You guys see how we're making lower lows here, but then when we take out the RSI, when we take out this RSI, you see higher lows here. You see higher lows, or you can even take a look at it on the weekly, right? Lower lows on the price, higher lows on the weekly. And then where did we, and now this move here, it just looks like a C wave. Like this would be your A, your B, and then you have your C wave down, right? And, you know, we actually have the same type of structure as that of Cake versus Bitcoin on Litecoin before it blasted off. So you have a perfect 5-wave move to the downside in the form of a descending channel. So you see how we're in a descending channel and we have a perfect 5-wave move down? Cake versus Bitcoin did the exact same thing. You had a descending channel, right? And a perfect 5-wave move to the downside. Now, just take a look at just this structure here. I'll show you guys. Right. Let me see. Let's just copy this and then we'll go back to Litecoin versus Bitcoin. Very similar structure, right? Kind of. But regardless of that little fractal, I think that this fractal going from 2018, it looks exactly the same as Cake Bitcoin before it really bottomed out. Okay, this is a 5-wave move to the downside on Cake Bitcoin. And then what we can do to find our 5th wave is just take a trend-based fib to this. Let me see here. Yeah, so we came down to the golden pocket. See, this is your golden pocket. Hence why we see a nice push up here. And we're back above the 200-day moving average, something to be very mindful of. You see, throughout this whole entire downtrend, right, we never really got back above the 200-day moving average and held above it. Like going all the way back to 2018, we never really got back above the 200-day. I mean, you got back above it here, but that was just a wave 2. And then you oscillated back and forth within this wave 3, above and below it, but no significant support above it, right? Now we finally have significant support above it after this wave 5 of C came in towards the golden pocket. Plus we have weekly bullish divergence here. And we never really printed significant bullish divergence here, because when we take a look at the RSI as a whole, going all the way back to 2018, You see how we never really dipped into oversold territory until we got over here. This looks like this was the lowest reading on the RSI on the weekly, going over 5-6 years now. See, this was the lowest reading. You see? And then we have bullish divergence there. So I do think that Litecoin will pop off. We'll now take a look at Link. This is Link over here. It's actually below the 200-day moving average. So let's just check this out, see exactly what it's doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is Link over here. And it looks like we're still within our wave 3 to the upside. So now there's two scenarios here on Link that I see playing out. Let me just put these fibs on the chart so you guys can see where exactly we are relative to our August low in 2024. So now for Link, here's what I'm thinking. This is your wave 1, your wave 2, your 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then that would be your wave 1. This is your ABC down for your wave 2. And now we're working on our 3rd wave to the upside. Now, this is the more optimistic scenario. The optimistic scenario states that we hold above $12.89. So this over here would be our bullish invalidation. So we'll call this our inval. Okay, simply because that's the 786 when we take a fib from our August low. Okay, now the more the less optimistic scenario on Link is that this is a wave 1, 2. This is your 3rd, 4th, a very deep wave 4, and then that's your wave 5, and now we're coming down for a correction, right? However this looks like, this is your A, your B, and then your C wave. So this would be your wave 1, this is your wave 2, and then we go up for a wave 3. So either scenario turns out to be bullish. Either scenario turns out to be bullish. But we're still finishing up this chop here, and don't forget that we're on the 702 right now. Don't forget that. Let's go back to XRP, and then I'll pop up the chat to see what other coins you guys have. So XRP actually, surprisingly, it's holding up pretty well here. So this could be, the bottom could be in over here, but it's too early to tell. Too early to tell that this could be the bottom, right? This would be your WXY correction. And then we need to see a move above this green region to confirm that this low is in. Otherwise, we come down a little bit more to around the 217 to $1.99 region. So yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. Link under. So let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Now, I did give two scenarios on Bitcoin dominance. Now, the first scenario was that it topped out over here, right? This was your wave C of your wave 5. And now this move over here is just an ABC correction up to the Fibonacci supports. But as soon as you get above this 618 here at 62.8%, then it's very likely that instead of us topping out over here, instead of this being the top, we just come up to the 786 on the linear scale. Okay, so we can go all the way up to the daily time frame over here. You take a fib from this high over here at 73.5%, so the highest recorded price here in 2021. So take a fib from 2021 high down to your September 2022 low. Now, as you guys can see, we had to push up to this 786 here at 64.22% for your wave 5 of C. Then we had to push down, and now we're seeing a move up to the retracements. As soon as you get above this 618 over here at 62.8%, then it's likely that we still have one more push up here, and that instead of this being your C wave termination, it would be up here at the 786 on the linear scale. So on the log scale, it already hit the 786. On the linear scale, it's at 66.18. So this would be, it would look like this instead if we were to do the bullish scenario. So even the bullish scenario on Bitcoin dominance, it turns out to be bearish. So this was your A wave here, and then this could be your 5 waves up in your C, like that. You see? So not much of a move up. I mean, this is still like, I would still see that this is the top. This is still the top region, right? Let me just put this here. Around this region. So it's either that this 786 is the top, but if you go above 62.8%, then we could say, oh, okay, all it's doing is just coming up to the 786 on the linear scale. That's all it's doing. And then we see the push down. And then this actually looks like a little bit of a rising wedge structure, right? Like a ascending broadening wedge structure. And then once this 5th wave hits, you see a massive decline. So these two levels is the expected pivots, but yeah. This is Bitcoin dominance, right? 3 wave move up in your A, 3 wave move down in your B, and then a 5 wave move to the upside within the C wave. Okay. I have the linear regression oscillator, and it shows an inversion on XRP. That's pretty cool, bro. Jasmy. Yeah, let's take a look at Cake. So Cake, it looks like it did our alternative scenario, as pointed out in the last live stream. So when we take a look at Cake on the USD pair here on Binance, and come down to here on the hourly time frame. So yeah, this was your wave 1, okay? And because we went below this low, we can no longer consider it like a WXY or a triangle pattern. So this is, we could say for sure that this is your wave 1, because this is not a triangle pattern. So this can't be a wave 4. So let's see, let's check this out. Yeah, this is your range here, and we're just coming down to these supports here. That's all we're doing. Let's take a look here. Boom and boom. Let's extend these lines so you guys can see. So yeah, this is where I'd be expecting your your C wave to terminate for your wave 2. And then the 786 is, of course, the invalidation level. Bullish invalidation would be to see a move below $1.61, $1.62. Okay, so these 3 regions right over here is what I would be seeing for a pivot to come in on Cake, right? These 2 levels. If we come down to the 786, that would be a very deep correction. It may happen, right? It may happen. And then we see a spring to the upside, but this looks to be your ABC. Okay, that's actually a good thing. It's a very good thing that this is a wave too, because it shows us that there's more strength in the market that is likely to step in, right? It's actually good that this wasn't a wave 4. It's good that this is a wave 2 because we have some more strength. And then what we can do here to find your third wave, let's say it terminates here at the 618, like around this region. It would be probably something like this. Okay. Invalidation, move below $1.61. But yeah, looks pretty good. Let's go back to XRP. So this is your 5-wave move to the downside, or this is your ABC. Okay, so this is your A, your B, and then your C wave. Okay. Yeah, this is it. Right here. Ape, Pip, you the best, my boy. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. All right. So I showed you XRP. I showed you Total 3, CRV. Showed you Litecoin. Showed you Link. Let me see what else I gotta do here. Let's take a look at Casper, and then actually before that we'll take a look at Ape, because I know this guy, he was asking for it for a while. So we'll take a look at Ape over here. This is ApeCoin. Looks pretty weak. Now, you know the good, so even though Ape looks weak, it's still oscillating back and forth within a broadening wedge structure. So that, like, there's some hope for this coin. I just want to see if I have the most history. So we're gonna go to Deck Screener over here, and we'll take a look at Ape. See if we can get the most history here. Let me see here. Ape. 1 year. Is this it? There's hardly any liquidity in this coin. There's 82,000, or I guess they're buying it on centralized exchanges instead, so that's probably why it doesn't show. So yeah, this actually is the full history here. Now this could be your A wave, your B wave, and then this would be the C wave, like that. And then within the C wave, you have your 5 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And notice how this looks like an ending diagonal. It's just within a broadening wedge formation. Looks like there's an ABC within each of these waves here. You guys see that? Your ABC down for your wave 1, ABC up for your wave 2. ABC down for your wave 3. And then what I would be expecting is a sweep of this low. This low here is where I would be expecting a sweep. So you'd mainly want to look for a reversal to come in around here once we get that sweep. Okay, and then what you can do is take a trend-based fib to this to find where this thing can terminate at. That's the golden pocket right here. This is your golden pocket. Okay. We'll add the 50%, or no, we'll add the 702 in there. Okay, there you go. I would say worst case scenario, it comes down to 24 cents. That would be worst case. But yeah. Worst case scenario, boom. But yeah, around here, overheated region. Let's take a look at the RSI. Boom. 3-day RSI. Yeah, so I want to see this dip back below 29.65 on the 3-day RSI. On the daily time frame, I want to see this dip a little bit lower here. Just so we can make a low maybe below here. Like that. So around this region. And then bullish invalidation would be to see a weekly close below 31 cent. Inval. And then what we can also do is take a trend-based fib to this smaller ABC and see where this thing can terminate at. Yeah, so lots of confluence here at this golden pocket. Yeah, lots of confluence here. Okay, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, this is Ape. This looks like a very similar structure, or kind of, not very similar, but this looks like a similar structure to that of, I think it was ICX. I think it was ICX. Let me see. Just trying to find which chart I put it on. Okay, this is not it. I think it was ATOM, maybe. Yeah, there we go. You see that? This is ATOM, or Atom. 3 wave move up, 3 wave move down with an ending diagonal within the C wave of your wave B or wave 2. So this blue region would be our chop zone right here. Very similar structure actually to that of CRV. Like when we take a look at CRV, we see that, let me see here. So you see how CRV, you had your 3 wave move up, or you could even say that this was your 3 wave move, 3 wave move up. Then you have your 3 wave move down, and then within this C wave of your larger B, you see how the price oscillates like this? Back and forth, kind of like a broadening wedge, and then we come down. So this is the very, very similar structure to that of ATOM. Okay. Invalidation would be to see a move below 229. Simply because that's the 786 when we take a fib from the all-time low in 2020 up to the all-time high in 2021. Okay, so looks pretty good so far. Hey Pip, can you take a look at Pump Daddy? I mean TrumpCoin. I think TrumpCoin rugged. So I did say in my last live stream, let me see. Where can we study Elliot Waves like how you draw? Is there a specific YouTube you recommend? So you can go on Elliot Wave International. You can just see how the fibs, you want to take a look at impulsive waves, and then you want to take a look at corrective waves. After you can distinguish between impulsive and corrective waves, you want to take a look at Fibonacci relationships and how they relate to the pivot points. And now the thing with trading theories is that you need to learn it, but you need to implement it at the same time. You can't just learn it and then expect to know what to do as soon as you hop on the chart. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. It's going to take you years to really, develop your own style. Now, what I would also recommend is not to only learn Elliot Wave, because Elliot Wave is just a risk management tool. You want to take a look at Wyckoff, ICT, take a look at patterns, divergences. Definitely, if you're a beginner trader, you need to learn divergences on the indicators, like on the RSI. Take a look at moving average as well. Try your best to not stay on a topic for too long, and to also implement what you're learning in real time. This way it sticks in your head. Like when I was a beginner trader, I would trade with the theories that with the knowledge that I knew. Like I would implement it as I was learning, and you're going to get stopped out many, many times. And when you get stopped out, always ask yourself, why did I get stopped out? What went wrong? And don't beat yourself up over it. You just want to learn what to do next, right? And the more losses, the more stop losses get hit, the more your ideas get invalidated. You refine your skills that way, and you just become better and better. But yeah, let's take a look at Pump Daddy Trump. So this is Trump over here. So like I said in the last live stream, if we could still have, like, yeah, this was a wave 4 here. So instead of this being a wave 5, this over here was your wave 4, and then we come down for a wave 5 like that. You see? This actually makes way more sense. And then if we take a look at this 4-hour RSI, we have dipped it. We're in really oversold territory here. So let's take a look here at Trump. This thing took a beating. So this is your wave. So this is your, you could say that this is your A wave, your B wave, and then your C wave down. I don't want to start this all over again, so let's not delete everything here. Let's just call this your wave 1, 2. This is your third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then your C wave may be down here. Now, I'm putting the C wave down here just for the sake of this analysis. You don't have to buy this because we don't know if it's going to keep going lower. So just wait till we see a little push. And then this is your A, B, C, like that. Boom. Like this. This is your C wave. One, two, three. 4. 1, 2. Like that. That makes so much more sense. Okay. So you have your A wave, which is right over here. Come up for your B wave. And then you have a 5 wave move down. This is your wave 1. Your wave 2, and this whole move here was your wave 3. And within this wave 3, you have an ending diagonal within the 5th wave. Hence why we went up by over 66% over here. And then this over here was your wave 4, considering we only went up in a 3-wave move. And now we're coming down for your wave 5. Okay? So it's likely we're going to see chop around here before we see a push up to the retracements. But yeah, like I said in the last live stream, this could have been a wave 4 before we make a new low for a wave 5. And what I would want to see here going forward for Trump is a push back above 1443. That's all I want to see. Nice dragonfly doji printing over here, or a long-legged doji. So yeah, we may see a push up from here, but what I'd mainly want to be looking for is a move back above 1450. Let's go back to XRP over here. I like coming back to XRP because I know like most of you in here, you guys are huge XRP fans, and I want you guys to be able to stay updated. But yeah. So remember, this is either a WXY and the correction is finished, which would be validated by a move above the 260 region, or we're just coming up for a wave 4 before we see one more little flush here for your wave 5 of C. Just came in. Please give a quick summary of what you think the market is doing. Okay. So yeah, so total 3 is at the lows. It's just chopping around. Everything's at the lows, just chopping around. You can rewind it and check it out, but let's take a look at Jasmy. So this is Jasmy over here. Yeah, so like I said in the last live stream, this is our range over here. Right over here is your range. It's just a massive wave 4. That's what it looks like. Then we'll take a look at Casper after Jasmy. Three-wave move down in your A, 3-wave move up in your B, and then it looks like this is a 5-wave move to the downside within your C wave. So it'll look like this, right? And then this would be your wave 4, like that. We've been within this reaccumulation structure for over a year now. Something to be very mindful of. Now, I know a lot of people are invested into Jasmy. Yeah, so around here. That's where I'd be expecting. Bullish invalidation would be to see a move below the 50% fib. Call this our inval. Same targets around the 13-14 cent level. Okay, there you go. Right here. Now what I'd want to see here on the 3-day RSI, so I want to see a move back down to this trend line here, so we can confirm hidden bullish divergence. So just a little bit lower here on Jasmy, and then we can confirm hidden bullish divergence. And then for the subwaves, this is what it would look like. See, very close to this finishing up here. Okay, there you go. That's Jasmy. I didn't even know you said something bad, bro. I thought Pump Daddy was like a joke or something. Okay, let's take a look here at VChain. Yeah, this is VChain. Let's take a look. Let me just remove all of these drawings here, just so you guys can see a little bit more clearly. Yeah, so if we take a fib from our November low up to our December high, you see how we're on this 702, 786 on the logarithmic scale? So, I mean, worst case scenario, I would say we come down to here at the 886. This is a little bit more of a clear chart you guys can see. There you go. So around this region right here. Okay. Bullish invalidation would be to see a move below this 886. Or I'd even put it right here at this 786. So just put it a little bit below the 786, maybe midway, because you may see a wick there. So we'll call this our inval. These are your TP levels. And don't forget that we've been within this accumulation structure for going on 1,000 days now. Let's go back to total 3, because I know that's a very important chart to watch. And yeah, like I said, we either bounce up here, considering we're on the 702, 786, or we come down to sweep these lows very, very slightly at the 1.382 extension and then see a push up from there. But I would say most of the downside move is already done, considering we went down already by 33%. And let's not forget, where the 200-day moving average is. 200-day moving average, we're on it right now. So you see this 200-day? You may see a wick below it, but eventually it'll eventually pop back up above it. Same thing with Nvidia, right? When we take a look at Nvidia, a lot of people were actually panicking here when we dropped below the 200-day moving average, but we got bought back up. Now, it's nice that we're on Nvidia so we can see what it's doing here. It looks like it still needs its fifth wave to the upside, so it looks like we've completed this A wave, coming down for a B wave to any of these retracements before we have that last push up for your upthrust after distribution. So this is the full count on Nvidia that I have so far. You see how we're just oscillating back and forth within this channel? So I'm thinking this is going to look like a truncation of the fifth wave, or this fifth wave would act as your upthrust after distribution in this almost 1 year long distribution range. But yeah, this is what I see for an Nvidia. Jasmy looks good as well. Go back to Jasmy. Sure. Let's take a look at Casper. Yeah, VChain is still bullish. It's just coming down, just retracing a bit. Trying to find where I put this wave count on Casper. I think it was on the KuCoin chart. Right here. Oh, there we go. So this is the 90-minute time frame. Wonder why this is stuck on my chart over here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is the 90-minute time frame. In the last live stream, I pointed out that this is your chop zone. This region right here. Okay? So we're going to carve out a bottom here for your wave 2 with the invalidation level being 0.00853. Because that would be the 88.6% fib measured from our November low up to our high here that we had in December. Okay, so this is the 90-minute time frame. Wave 1. Then you come down for an ABC correction, and within the C wave, you have a 5-wave move because this is a flat pattern, right? This is your A wave down, your A wave up, and then a 5-wave move to the downside. Okay. Invalidation level being the 88.6% fib. When we take a look at Casper on the high time frame, we'll check this out. Let's go on the weekly. Classic, accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So if we go below that invalidation level on that small time frame chart, then it's likely we'll sweep this low to touch this trendline support and then get bought up. But so far, this is a classic power of 3 setup. It actually looks a lot like Kava. You know how you had this established range. Every time we tried to break out of it, the composite operator, pushed it back down in order for the CO to scoop up the excess supply when price goes below this established range. Right? Like when we take a look at Kava, very similar structure. All right, let me see. This is Kava. Okay, so you see this range here? Like that? Same thing, right? This is your established range. Every time we try to have a breakout, the composite operator places their sell wall to deny that possibility. Composite operator pushes the price down below the established range, where all of the people start selling, all of the retail starts selling, so an excess supply of coins enters into the market. Okay. So this is your accumulation, manipulation, and then we have distribution to the upside or expansion. Same thing with Casper. These are your targets for Casper: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So looking at Kava over here on the 4-hour time frame, this is what I labeled in my last live stream. I showed that this was a diagonal support, and we're going to come down here to these Fibonacci levels before we turn up. Okay, so we can remove this guy. And yeah, this would be your chop zone. See? Like that. Bullish invalidation would be to see a move below this 786 at 30 cent. Let's go back to XRP here. I'm just gonna send this just in case like my Discord members aren't watching this. Just in case some of my members aren't watching this, I'm just gonna send this to the Discord. One sec. Yeah, all right. Really nice pop up here. I like this pop up here on XRP. Now, what would I be looking for from here? Just simply a move above this level, 260. If we can get above 260, then we could say this correction is done here. Otherwise, we're going to come up for a wave 4 before a quick wave 5. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that super chat. We'll take a look at all of these. We could take a look at all of these coins, and then we'll also take a look at the PulseChain ecosystem. So this is EWT. Let's see if there's more history here on Energy Web token. Now, yeah, this thing has been really brutalized. So, I mean, let me see. Let's see where the 886 is. Okay, yeah, so we're approaching this 886. So let me see here. I want to see this level hold at 77 cent. If we can't hold 77 cent on the 3-day time frame, weekly time frame, that would be bearish for sure. So we must hold at 886 in order for us to see this pop to the upside, to at least, you know, come to the retracements. Even if this was a dead project, right? I would want to see a move to at least the 50% fib, 61.8% fib, and then we could see. And then after it hits these fibs, it doesn't really matter what happens after. You'd want to look to take profits simply because it just looks like a risky coin, kind of like it's just been going down. So I mean, if we bottom out here at the 886, you really want to capitalize off this counter trend that we have. But bullish invalidation would be to see a move below 77 cent on the 3-day and weekly, which would be the 88.6% fib. Please pan out to 3-month and 1 year for XRP, then look at any other token in the same manner. Yeah, sure, we could do that. But we need to take a look at Filecoin first. So this is Filecoin here. It's actually holding up pretty well so far. It's on the 61.8 to 70.2% fib. Let's see here. Right there. Yeah, this is my full chart on Filecoin. Let's go on the weekly. And looks like it's just doing Wyckoff accumulation. We've been within this range for almost 1,000 days. Now, I want to show you this. I want to show you this structure here for Wyckoff. And I was pointing this out in the last live stream. Let me just find it right here. So this is a good chart you can also watch as an example. Let's look at this one as well. Right here. Okay, so you see how you have a slam back down to the lows? You have your A, your B, and then your C wave is a slam back down. And you slightly make a new low. You slightly make a new low here below the external range. Sometimes you may not make a new low. Sometimes it may just come down to the range low. Now we could take a look at another example over here. You see how we creak over here, or you have an ABC correction, and then you slam down for the C wave. You slam all the way back down to the range low for your C wave. Then you come up a bit. Then you go down for your ST, which is your number 8. Now, usually at this number 8, a lot of people think it's going to make a significant lower low. But what it does instead is it just chops up and grinds up from there. Now, when we apply the same type of ideology to that of Filecoin, we see the same thing, right? This was your slam back down to the range low. We swept this important low right over here on August 2024 before we went up by over 174%. So you swept this important low with this guy over here. So this is your selling climax, your automatic rally, your secondary test, your failed breakout, sweeping this high, and then this over here would be your secondary test in phase B down to the Fibonacci supports. Or if this is not, or if a reversal doesn't come in here from the 618 down to the 786, then yeah, it's gonna slightly sweep this low here. It's gonna slightly sweep this low, and then see a pop up from there. Because we're very, very, very oversold. 5-wave move down in your A, 3-wave move up in your B, and then another 5-wave move down in your C. Okay, this C wave, this wave 5 of C is either truncated, meaning it doesn't make a new low, or it's just a normal wave 5 where we come down slightly below the adjacent low here. And then we see the nice pop up. If we did go below this low here at 2.59, then it's likely a lot of market participants will flip short. So whenever you sweep a psychological low, many market participants flip short. So new shorts open up. And whenever new shorts open up after a psychological low has been swept, the price is likely to go in the opposing direction and have what's called a short squeeze. So yeah, Filecoin looks good on the high time frame. Just on the small time frame, it's still working its way. It's still working out a bottom. Still working out a bottom. And then we'll take a look at the RSI, see if we have anything significant over here. So the weekly RSI, it's still printing a slight hidden bullish divergence, very slightly. Taking a look here on the daily time frame, we dipped into oversold territory right over here with this wick. So you may see chop in the lower bounds of this RSI, the lower boundary of this RSI, as the price carves out a bottom. Okay? That's why I say, like, in my live streams, the small time frame, like anything below the daily, you're likely to suffer from very bad anxiety because you see the prices going down, and on the small time frame it looks like it's going to continue to go down. But then when you zoom out, go on the 3-day, maybe the weekly, maybe the 2-week, you see that everything is okay. Right? Every time frame tells a story. Remember that. Every time frame tells a story. So yeah, this is Filecoin. And we'll take a look. Bro, Pip, what's up, man? Hope all is well. Are the TP levels the same on API 3 after that bloodbath? Yeah, we'll take a look at API 3 for sure. VRA looks like Filecoin, Wyckoff accumulation. Yeah, I like VRA. Like, I like that structure. It looks really nice. I know some traders that all they do is Wyckoff and they don't do anything else. They don't do Elliot Wave, they don't do liquidity, anything like that. All they do is Wyckoff, and their profit, like their win rate is around it's almost 100%. Because the thing with Wyckoff is that all you really need to look for is just sideways movement at the lows. That's the only thing you need to look for. Now, one of the downsides to Wyckoff is you may get stuck in a lot of chop. So you need to wait it out. You need to DCA at the pivots all throughout the range, right? So you'd mainly want to DCA like at these pivots or wherever you think there's going to be a pivot. You DCA, and then they basically, what they do is they get out, they fully get out of their position at the SOS phase. They fully get out. And they've just been doing that for, I don't know, almost a decade now. One of the guys that I know that just trades Wyckoff, he's been doing this for over a decade. And basically he just DCAs at the pivots of the Wyckoff, at the Wyckoff range, and then fully gets out at the SOS. And you can keep some here for phase E, but mainly you just want to look for these. Mainly you just want to look for sideways accumulation at the lows, or like a ranging price action. That could either be your best friend or your worst enemy. Remember that. So don't make it your worst enemy, guys. Make the range your best friend. So don't panic. But yeah, this is Filecoin, still bullish on the high time frame. This move here doesn't negate the fact that we've been accumulating for almost 3 years. It would be expected to see chop at the lows with the possibility of a slight lower low. Let's take a look at the last coin this guy asked for, ATOM. So we'll take a look at ATOM here. I believe I did ATOM earlier in the stream, but we'll take a look at it one more time. You know, ATOM is looking a lot like SUI, the structure. The only difference is that ATOM or Atom is a little bit behind, like SUI front run. Oh yeah, this is my chart on Atom. 3-wave move up in your A. 3-wave move down in your B. And within this B wave, you have a C wave over, let me see. Yeah, within this B, you have a C wave here. And it looks like an ending diagonal where the price is oscillating back and forth. And you see this blue region that I marked out? This would be your chop zone. So if we do come down to these fibs over here, don't panic, because our invalidation level would be sitting at the 78.6% fib at 232. Now all I did to find this 786 is I just took a fib from the low in March 2020 up to the highest recorded price, or to the all-time high. As you guys can see, we're on the 618 right here. Let's put the 702 on the chart, see where that is. Yeah, 702 is at 319. And 786 is at 230 to 233. But yeah, ATOM looks good. Ticker is AKT. I'm getting wrecked, bro. Okay, let's take a look at AKT. I don't like to see people getting wrecked, so take a look at AKT, see what it's doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you see how the price came up to the 786 here on the linear scale? So when we take a fib from the all-time high down to the low, it came up to the 786 but had no weekly closures above it. You see that? Now we're below this 200-day moving average. That's what should be a little bit worrying. That's what should be a little bit of a cause for concern for bulls. Now, there's a lot of coins below the 200-day moving average, but the price is still within the range at the lows. But this is below the 200-day moving average, but the price is at the highs. You see what I'm saying? And then we also hit the 786. So, I mean, let me see here. So there's two scenarios that I see. So this is your wave 1, your wave 2. This is your 3rd, 4th, and then you have an extension of the 5th. And now we're coming down for your ABC correction, which is likely to be very deep. And you're likely to see more carnage. Or this is your wave 1, your wave 2. This is your 3rd wave. We're coming down for a 4th before we have a 5th wave up. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so now what we can do is take a fib from this swing low before we went up by over 2,700%, and see where exactly the price is relative to that low. And as you guys can see, we're on the 786 here at $1.62. So I'd mainly want to look for these two levels to hold. Or that's a little bit too low. Yeah, this 786. Let's check out where it is on the log fibs. Okay. Yeah, I'd mainly want to see this level hold at $1.62. Okay. We can also take a fib from this swing low up to this high and see yeah, around this region. Okay. But I don't want to see a move below these two levels. If you see a move below these two levels here, that wouldn't be good. Okay, these two levels. So this would be our inval. Okay. But I'm leaning bearish for this coin because it's under this 200-day moving average. So be very careful with this coin. Be mindful of the invalidation levels, because the last thing I want you guys to do is ride it all the way down. Or last thing I want this guy to do is to ride it all the way down. But yeah. That's so funny. Okay, what do you think the chances are for Bitcoin to go down to the low 80s and high 70s? Dash, trash. Okay, let's take a look at Dash. Dash, I believe, is a privacy coin, right? And you also state that this is a falling wedge. So yeah, it is a falling wedge. Now, I want to see where the price is relative to this low that was set on January 15th before we had this huge impulsive move up. So where exactly are we? And we'll take a look right now. Okay, so we're on the 618. So for Dash, I'd mainly want to be looking for this level to hold at 17 bucks. Simply because that's the 618 when we measure the move from our January 15th low up to our December 17th high. B, C, D. This looks like a... Okay, something like that for the wave count. And yeah, you'd want to look to take profit here at this 702. So wherever this bottoms out at, you just want to take a fib from the all-time high down to the low. And take a look at it on the logarithmic scale. Mainly be looking for a move towards the 702 and the 786. It may not make a new all-time high. It may just come up to the retracements, but regardless, it would still be a good risk reward opportunity. And like every coin, Dash is just chopping at the lows, like every single coin. So, you know, the best thing you can do right now, if you're holding crypto, is to just sit and wait, because there's no point in trading in and out with your spot bag or doing any high leverage future trades, because it's more likely than not you're going to see a loss. So keep the leverage low if you're going to do it, and make sure to ladder in. Nothing above 2x is what I suggest. And if you're holding spot, just continue to hold and don't make any rash decisions, because I would say most of the downside move is already done. Like when we take a look here from the all-time high back in 2018, we're down by 98.7% on Dash, right? Almost 99%. I mean, if it around here, when an altcoin is down 97, 98, 99%, the worst thing you can do is continue to short it or to have a short bias. Not the worst thing, but it'd be dangerous, I should say. It'd be dangerous to short a coin or to have a short bias after such a huge move from the top, right? I mean, what's 100%? Let me see. Yeah, that would be around 100%. But I doubt it goes down there. I think it's just going to chop here within this region. See how this plays out. I would say bullish invalidation would be to see any weekly closes below this high here on June 2014, because then we would be going below a 10-year high. Like this high was set over 10 years ago. Or let me see, is it? Yeah, over 10 years ago. So I mean, we may sweep it, but if you get a weekly close below this 10-year high, then that's not good. So we'll call this our inval. Okay. But yeah, Dash is okay. I actually like how it's gone down this much. It means there's more opportunity to the upside. And then yeah, you do have this falling wedge structure. So looks good. I just got on. If we haven't, can we take a look at DGB? Love your content. Thanks, man. For sure, Tyler, we can take a look at DGB. I love DGB. It moves really explosive. And I like the accumulation structure that it's currently doing. Whiff and FET. Yeah, we'll take a look at ACH. I've been going through the chat here and I see that a lot of people are requesting ACH. So we'll make sure not to forget that. Long-term XRP, that's in my Discord. But yeah, XRP, it's likely it's going to extend to $13 for XRP. You know, we may come to around $7 to $9 for your wave 5, come down for an A wave for like a few months, and then your B wave would probably be 13. So if $13 occurs in a B wave for XRP, then you'd mainly want to look to take profits before that, because there's no guarantee. Let's take a look at DGB. And then we'll take a look at ACH. So this is DGB over here. And let's take a look at this on the daily time frame. Looks like it's just coming down for a wave 2. I'd mainly want to see this 786 and 886 hold. Now all I did to find this 786 and 886 is I just took a fib from this low in November up to this high in December. So we're just carving out this deep wave 2. This is what I see on DGB. It's just a huge reaccumulation structure. Actually, it reminds me a lot like the structure of XLM. When we take a look at XLM and we see what it did, let's take a look. See, same thing. Reaccumulation structure. This is your A, your B, and then your C wave. See, very similar structure. Very similar structure, reaccumulation. The only difference is that XLM front run, right? But yeah, this is what I see. Wyckoff reaccumulation cheat sheet. If you guys want to pause the video and screenshot this, go ahead. Very useful diagrams that you guys can follow along in the market. So yeah, pause the video, take a screenshot of that. I'll take a sip of water and I'll be back. One sec. Okay, so what reaccumulation structure is DGB completing right now? This looks like reaccumulation after shakeout. You see reaccumulation after shakeout? How we make a double top and then you move back down to range lows, see a retracement, and then we creak down to the lower band of this Wyckoff range. Right? This is your double top. You have your ABC down. And we just come down to this lower band here. This lower band. Okay. But yeah, DGB looks good. Invalidation is a move below 0.00584. Thank you so much, Sandile, for the super chat. We'll take a look at this Toko coin for sure. bro, can you please do fart coin? Oh my lord. That coin, man. Everyone's addicted to that coin. Let's take a look at API 3 and we'll take a look at Toko for sure. I just got on. Any look at Jasmy? There was a cup and handle. Yeah, I already took a look at Jasmy, Willy Wonka. I did all of the subwaves and the macro wave counts with take profit levels in this live stream. So I'll do my best to add segments into the video. I'll do my best to do that, but you know what you guys can do is, if you're ever coming onto the stream late, or if you're ever watching the stream after it's already done, maybe put it on 2x speed. So it'll just like it'll move a little bit faster so you guys can see. Fart coin, oh my god. Alright. Let's take a look at API 3. Okay, so it's just finishing up this wave 5 in this C wave. As you guys can see, this was your wave 1, your wave 2. Come down for your third wave, fourth. Then you have a fifth wave for your A. And then you know that this is your A wave because the market went sideways after this A wave came in. So after this A wave came in, the market went sideways and did a check mark like motion. Whenever you see this check mark like action playing out on the price, it usually means it's an ABC correction. So this was your pivot for your B wave, and then we come down impulsively again. So that's more confluence that this is a B wave. On the 4-hour time frame, this is the wave count. It's going to make a slight lower low right here. Just a very slight lower low. Call this your spring. Now all I did to find these retracements over here, I just took a trend-based fib from the top of your wave 1 to the bottom of your wave 3 and up to the top of your wave 4. Make this black so you guys can see. Okay. Now look at the RSI here on the daily time frame. Look how oversold this is. You know, we reached into oversold territory over here. The last time we reached into this territory or reached the same level on the daily RSI, we were over here. And we made a slight lower low on the price, but a higher low on the RSI, and then the price went up by over 475%. Let's check out this weekly RSI. Let's see what it's doing here. So notice how you have a lower low here. You're making a lower low. I'll make this red so you guys can see lower low, but a equal low on the weekly RSI. So classy bullish divergence forming. Now, you know, the good news about API 3 is that when we count the wave count, or when we count the Elliot waves, we see that it's within the fifth wave here. It's very clear that this is a fifth wave. So just know that if we do end up going lower, we're just finishing up this fifth wave before we see that pop to the upside. TP targets would still be the same, considering we haven't made a new low. Okay, still be the same. And if we did make a new low, then it would just come down a little. Like, it wouldn't even. You see how much it changes? It doesn't change at all, really. If it went down here or here, it doesn't really change. But yeah, this is API 3. Oversold on the weekly time frame, daily time frame, and we can see here that we're currently within the fifth wave of our C wave to the downside. Okay. Okay, we're gonna take a look at some. So now I want to show you guys something interesting that I found for my members. Now, I didn't get a chance to show this in the last live stream, but we'll take a look at it. One sec. Let me just get some more water here, and then we'll take a look. Okay, so it's others dominance. Now look what I found on others dominance. We have a 7-wave crashing structure. I don't know if you guys are familiar with BC Backer. I'm sure most of you are. But this is a 7-wave crashing structure, and when your 7th wave comes in, that usually means that it's likely to see a reversal. So the dominance of the coins that are not in the top 10, it's likely in the midst of bottoming out over here. And then when we take a look here at the 3-day time frame, you see how you sweat. You see how you. Let me see here. You see how you sweep these lows? The low that was set on November before we had that run up, he swept it over here. And I do think that this is just deviation below this macro diagonal support. You see this yellow box here? I think that's just deviation or a false breakdown before we see the push up to make a third drive to a high. So I'm very interested in this chart, and I want to see how we bottom out within this region. Because this just looks like a false breakdown so far. We can also take a look at others as well. So this is others. Okay. Looks fine. This is what I expect. Invalidation below 213 billion, which would be the 786, measured from our July low in 2024. We can also, now, Donald Trump Jr., he's speaking at the DeFi event, I think in Miami. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I know he's speaking in a DeFi event. DeFi is decentralized finance, and I think DeFi is going to make a comeback. So let's take a look at the total DeFi market cap here. Okay. Let's go on the daily. Okay, so you see how we came down to this 786. When we take a fib from our August low up to our December high, we came down to the 786 right here. And we also tap the 1.382 extension when we take a trend-based fib to this ABC correction. Now, you may see chop within this region over here, but that's likely to be expected before we turn up. So I think DeFi is definitely going to make a comeback. Right now it looks dead, but usually before things bottom out or right before things blast off, it'll look dead. Things before, like when things bottom out, it looks so bad. Like to the retail eye, or or pretty much to anyone looking at the chart looks like absolute death before it blasts off. I remember that in November. Every chart looked like absolute death. And then all of a sudden, boom, blasted off. But yeah, this is total DeFi. Looks fine. I do see a move to 238 to 263 billion. Now this is a modified shift pitchfork. It works really well. Let's see what other charts you guys are requesting. So I do think there will be an XRP ETF, but it may not be. yeah, it may be bullish for like the long term. And the fundamental analysis of XRP. But usually when we get those news like ETF news, and when things start to become legit, that's usually when the top comes in, or the top is in already. So I'm thinking at the top they're going to release that ETF news. So yeah, you could be right. Around $7 they'll probably release, $7 to $13. We'll see how it plays out. But let's not worry about whether an ETF is going to come out or not. Let's just focus on the charts, so we can stay focused and we don't get blindsided. I think haven't took a look at IOTA yet. But let's take a look at the PulseChain ecosystem here. Let's take a look at PulseX. Yeah, so like I said with PulseX, we either see the push up from here, but in order to confirm that this is the low, I want to see a move above 404620 and 405028. You see this blue box? I want to see a move above this level in order to confirm that this is the low. Otherwise, if we lose 403113, then it's likely we still have a little bit more of chop to do, still have a little bit more downside here. But overall, PulseX is super squeezed. Considering we've been within this pennant for a little bit over 1 year now. I think it's almost 2 years now. Let me see. Almost 2 years. This is your A wave, and then for your B wave, you have an A, B, C, D, E correction. And remember, this is our no trade zone. You don't want to trade in and out here. You don't want to do it. Because we're at such a volatile point in the structure, or such a squeezed point in the structure, I should say, that it's best not to just trade in and out. Just sit on your spot portfolio. Let's take a look at incentive. So now, incentive token hit the 786. Something to be very mindful of. It came down to the 786 here. So could be your wave 2. This could be your wave 1. This is your wave 2, and then we see it pop to the upside. Or we have an even deeper correction down to the 886. And that's happened before. Like, look at this move before we blasted off. Look where we came down to. We came down to the 786. You see? Like, perfectly. So this could be a low here. But in order to confirm that, I want to see a move above these equal highs. Sitting at 268, 270. Okay. PLS, same thing as PulseX. Yeah, PLS, same thing, right? Let's remove all these drawings that I did so you guys can see. Yeah, it's on the 786, 886. Same thing as incentive token. So, you know, we should see a pivot here very soon on the ecosystem. Let's take a look at PHEX. Looks fine to me. Everything is, you know, PHEX has so much strength. Like, you would expect it to break down more here. But it just stayed here. It just stayed at this middle band of this Wyckoff range. So going back to 2023, we have a 3-wave move down for your A wave, 3-wave move up for your B wave, and then a 5-wave move to the downside for your C wave, which can also be regarded as your spring in this 1 year long Wyckoff accumulation range. Then we have a move up to range highs. You have max euphoria, people going max long, putting all their life savings into HEX, thinking it's going to continue on with its push to the upside. But all we do is just have a check back. And where did this check back come to? Our check back came down to the mid range, or a little bit lower than mid range. So around, let's see here. Yeah, at the 702, around there, 618, 702 region. So I would just be expecting chop here. Nothing has really changed with PHEX. Just be expecting chop here. We may see a move below this neckline, but eventually I do think we see a push here to the 4.236 extension, measured by taking a fib from the highest recorded price down to the lowest recorded price within this range. So from current prices, that would be about a 14x. Now, remember, for the people that are not invested into the Rich Hard ecosystem already, just know that these coins are very risky. So, yeah, just be careful. Let's go back to XRP here. Looks good so far. Just a little shakeout. DAG Constellation Network. Yeah, let's take a look at DAG. Now, you know, DAG, I was actually expecting a little bit more downside for that coin. Let's see if my downside targets got hit. Let's check this out here. Yeah, so it came down to the 702. It may come down to the 786 though. So the 702 lies at 0.0418. 786 lies at 0.0356. Invalidation would be for us to see a daily close below the 88.6% fib, sitting at 0.028. Now, this is the macro chart that I have here on Constellation. It looks like a massive leading diagonal structure. Now, the reason I did this macro count is because one of the members in my Discord asked for it and where it could potentially go to. And yeah, looks like a leading diagonal, but keep your eye on this invalidation level. Right? I think we're just coming down for a B wave before we come up for a C wave. We also came back down to tap this 200-day moving average. You see how we came down to tap the 200-day here? So this B wave could be in, but it could also come down a little bit lower for a wick on the high. Just a wick, and then we get bought back up. This is DAG. It's looking good so far. It's looking good so far. So I keep checking the XRP chart because a lot of people in here, the live is too long for them and they only hold XRP, right? So I want them to be able to, keep watching it. And confession, I've been liquidated badly in those gold fever rushes. Watch out for them. Yeah. Okay. 1 inch. Yeah, we'll take a look at 1 inch, but before we look at 1 inch, I want to take a look at this guy's coin, Toko. Thoughts on Toko? Yeah, we'll take a look at this. Okay, this coin doesn't look too good. It looks impulsive, but that doesn't mean that it can't see a rise. Let me see. Let me see if there's more history on this coin on CoinTrader Pro. Okay, this is strange here. Let me just... Okay, this doesn't look like the same coin, so this is probably it. Let's just see here. Okay, it actually started from here. Wave 1, wave 2. 3, 4, and then we're finishing up this wave 5. You know what you can also do is invert the scale. It may even help you with the analysis, just to put things into perspective, right? Yeah, this is what I see on Toko. Completing its 5th wave down. And then within this 5th wave, we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're finishing up this wave 5. Okay, boom, boom, and boom. Okay, there's your analysis on Toko. I'm not saying that this is the bottom. I'm just saying that this is where you could potentially see a big pivot come in. Okay. And then after this fifth wave is in, you'd mainly want to look for an A, B, C correction up. Maybe to this breaker block or mitigation block, like right here. Okay, like around there. Okay, something like that. Is pull dead Matic. Thanks for that, bro. I really appreciate that super chat. We'll definitely take a look at Matic. And you know, in my last live stream, I did say that we're gonna see some chop at these lows here. Yeah, you're gonna see chop here at these lows, you see? This is your Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic. Currently been within this schematic for about almost 1400 days now. So a lot of accumulation, a lot of reaccumulation, I should say. So the good news is that we're within the wave, we're within wave 5 of 5 on Matic. Let me see here. Or you can even consider this like your A wave. This is your B, and then we're doing wave 5 of our C. Okay. Okay, we've hit this fib here. So yeah, the good news is that we're within this wave 5. So the correction should be over soon. Okay, so around this region, nothing has changed. Nothing significant has changed on Matic. Chop at these lows would be expected. Okay. Let's chop at these lows. Okay, Wyckoff reaccumulation. And don't forget, bearish and bullish invalidation would be for us to see a move below 23 cent. Any daily closures below 23 cent, then yeah, it wouldn't be good. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. So yeah, one of the guys was asking here. First of all, where is everyone from? Where are my viewers from? I'm from Canada. Let me see here. Hold on. I'm from Canada, and I came to Asia just for a little vacation. But I want to see where you guys are from. Where are you guys at? Florida, Michigan, Milwaukee. Okay, let's go. Dallas, Texas. Nice, nice. This guy's from, yeah, from Vancouver, Canada. Let's go. Let's go. This guy. This guy wants Fartcoin so bad. Okay, we'll take a look at Fartcoin, no problem. UK, Montreal, Amarillo, Texas. Let's go, let's go. California. All right, all right. Lots of US people in here. Lots of US viewers. Raw doggin. What a username. That's cool, man. That's cool. Most of you guys are from US. That's really nice. And you know, one of the guys was asking here, how often do you do these live streams? Yeah, you know, I just started live streaming like 2 weeks ago. I've had my YouTube for a while, but I just started live streaming like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. And yeah, people like it, so because you know, like it gives them like a live point of view on what the market is doing now, how I'm doing the analysis, and yeah, like they get to see everything. Because you know, like when you're on YouTube or when you're on Twitter, you only really see that one coin or that one asset. But when you tune into the live or if you're in the Discord, you're able to see all of the whole market as a whole. Like you're able to see the market as a whole. So I notice like the lives, like it calms a lot of people down because they can see the whole market, right? From my perspective. Because if you're just on YouTube or Twitter, you can only see one asset, and you know. Is Dash a good long shot? Monthly chart has divergence. You know, I took a look at Dash earlier in the stream. It's within a falling wedge. PW Bitcoin looks pretty strong in the Pulse Eco and would like to see your opinion. Can you post the contract address in the chat? Post the contract address of PW Bitcoin and then I'll take a look at it. Because when I type it in here on Dex Screener, I don't know if that's the correct ticker. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the correct ticker. It's in my Discord, but I don't want to pull up the Discord right now. Just for let me see, IOTA. I'm glad you mentioned Bitcoin BC Backer. Your info fits nicely with his stuff. Yeah, I like BC Backer. Actually, you know, that's the only analyst I watch. I don't watch any analyst. That's my rule. I don't watch any other analyst because it confuses, like it's just when you get confident enough to do your own analysis, which I'm sure most of you all will get to that point at some stage in your career, you don't want to look at any other analyst. Now, it doesn't mean that like you're cocky or anything like that. It just means that you're confident in your analysis. And once you get to that point, yeah, maybe take a look at one or two analysts for, you know, like just for like review, you know, but like the more experience you get in technical analysis and trading, the less people you need to watch. So yeah, that's why Backer is the only analyst I take a look at. He's pretty solid. You know, if you watch too many analysts at once, you're going to get so confused and your anxiety is going to get so high because you won't even know where the market is going to go. So just take a look at 1, 2 analysts, maybe 3, but 1 to 2 is good. Now, yeah, we'll go back to Backer's idea here, or sorry, not Backer's idea. We'll go back to this others chart over here, and I wanted to point out this 7-wave crashing structure. So this is the others dominance chart. Notice how you have a 7-wave move down, where your 6th wave comes back up to your wave 1 or 4, or your wave 4, and then flushes down for your 7. Then when we take a look at the weekly time frame on others dominance, I think that this is just deviation below this macro diagonal trend support before we see that push up. I could be wrong, but we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Do you consider or follow anything astrology and moon cycles? I find it interesting. I find it very interesting. You know, billionaires. I know billionaires. They look at like a lot of that stuff, like astrology and moon cycles and stuff like that. I know analysts that are so against moon cycles or anything to do with astrology, but I'm not against it because it does have confluence to the charts, no doubt about it. Actually, a lot of the people in my Discord, they're big into that, like astrology and moon cycles, so they keep me up to date with that. Cake, please. Sure, we'll take a look at Cake. Is the bull run over? The bull run is not over, bro. We're actually, most of the downside move is done and we're just chopping at the lows, which makes people think it's over. Hey, remember, total 3 is the chart I want you guys to keep your eyes on. Okay, as long as total 3 remains above this 200-day moving average on the weekly time frame, we should be okay. We should be okay. You may see a move below it. This is total 3. You may see a move below it like a wick. But, you know, as long as we stay above this 200-day on the weekly, we should be okay. So let's go back to this PW Bitcoin chart. Let me see here, because he told me the correct one. So I just want to see. Okay. Wow, there's so much good coins here. But I don't see PW Bitcoin. So yeah, just copy and paste the contract address into the chat and then I'll take a look at it for you. Yeah. Really think this guy is saying really think the bull run is about to start because everyone thinks it's over. Yeah, exactly, right? When people think when the most bullish people become bearish, that usually means we're at the lows. We're at the bottom. Bro, you compliment BCB's TA well. You have different approaches, but thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah, I've seen that movie Grown Ups. That's funny. Thank you, man. Thank you. I think maybe the bot is delisting the contract. You think? No, I have the contract address in my Discord. But I don't want to pull it up. I don't want to pull the Discord up right now because just for my members' privacy. I don't want their usernames to be Okay, let's take a look at Fartcoin. This guy keeps talking about this Fartcoin. My god. Let me see. Okay, so is this the proper coin? Just let me know. fart coin? Because there's like a million fart coins. I don't even know. Let me see here. Let me just check it out. Let me just go to my... Yeah, my Discord's not open, so... Alright, so where is this fart coin that you speak of? Which one is it? Is it this one? If Solana top, then bull runs over. Not necessarily, bro. It could, when a coin tops out, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a straight line down. It can grind up, grind down sideways, and then eventually go down. Oh, trading view. Okay. We'll take a look at these lives are fun. Yeah, I agree, bro. These lives are fun. That's hilarious. Fart coin, my god. All right, let's take a look at fart coin. All right. Looks topped out. Yeah, this looks topped out. We'll see. Let me see here. Maybe you can capitalize off this B wave, or maybe de-risk. Well, we'll see where it is from here. It's on the 786, so I mean, we could see a push up from here. See where the 886 is. Yeah, so it's on the 786, 886. You may see a push up to the retracements from here. But as soon as you lose 21 cent, that wouldn't be good. Let me see here. Okay, so move up to here. Towards these fibs. And then if you get above this 702, 786, then it's likely we still have one more high to set. So this, remember, 786, 702, that's always the invalidation level for the downside and to the upside. That's my rule. Go below the 702, 786, and it's likely we'll go towards the 100% fib. Go above it, same thing. So yeah, this is fart coin here on Mexi. I know there's more history to this coin, but I just can't find it on Deck Screener. But yeah, this is fart coin. It could have potentially topped here, but it may not have a straight line down. I want to check out these EMAs here on the daily time frame, or we'll even take a look at it on the 4-hour. So this is the 4-hour EMAs, and we're currently below all of them. I mean, it either is gonna continue down, or it's gonna see a pop up from this region. Invalidation being 21 cent at the 88.6% fib, measured from our December low up to our January high. Okay, so there's two scenarios for fart coin. It's hilarious. It's had enough airtime, bro. Get rid of it. Yeah, whatever. It'll probably it's a meme coin, so yeah, probably. You commented on my Twitter the PW Bitcoin contract. Okay. We'll take a look at it. Let me just go on my Twitter and see where you put it, and then I'll take a look at it. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. Let me just copy this contract, and then we'll take a look. Oh, it's WBTC. That's why. What's good, mate? Care to take a look at Dash on the higher time frame? Okay, cool. All right. WBTC slash WPLS. This is it, right? Let me just make sure. This one. So now, let me see. There we go. Boom. Wyckoff reaccumulation. This is a chart I made for my Discord members here. Let's pull out Wyckoff reaccumulation structure. And let's check this out. Okay, now look how similar this is. Now, you know, we actually call the bottom on wrapped Bitcoin like over here in my Discord, but I never bought. That's pretty crazy. Okay. Okay, so you see how we from this high over here. From this high over here on April 2024, you see how we creak down? This was your creak down from this high on Wyckoff reaccumulation. You see how we creak down? And then all of a sudden, you have a jump across the creek. Right? So all of a sudden, you have your jump across the creek. And then what do we do after? We come down to the top of the range. You see where this 11 is? We come down to the top of the range to back test it. And you have chop in here. You have a lot of people thinking it's over and it's going to break down further. But it's just chop. So you see where this strong support is, where I labeled it? That's likely where you're gonna see you're gonna see price action dip into this region. It already has come down to the top of the range here. But if it comes down lower, I wouldn't panic, because it's just back testing the top of this accumulation range for your backup phase. Or sorry, for your backup / LPS before we have continuation. Okay? So this is your this is your sign of strength. So this is your SOS. This is your creek, right? This is your jump across the creek. This is your sign of strength. And then this is your BU/LPS. So bullish invalidation would be for us to see 8 daily close below 228, which would be the 70.2% fib. Okay. But yeah, this is wrapped Bitcoin, looking pretty good. It's just doing Wyckoff reaccumulation. We actually call the bottom here in the Discord. Unfortunately, I never got in, but it's whatever. And yeah, I think 4,000 to 6,000 gets hit. So a nice 10x from here, around a 10x. Now, all I did to find these targets is I just took a fib from the highest recorded price down to the lowest recorded price. So yeah, this is wrapped Bitcoin. Bullish on wrapped PW Bitcoin. Bullish on it. Just chopping here, making everyone confused. Like every coin in the crypto market, it's just chopping at the lows. Yeah, so I did take a look at the PLS ecosystem. I did take a look at it. Pip is the only TA guy Backer watches. Yeah, true. I only watch BC Backer. I don't watch anyone else. It's too much Fugazi out there. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Matic forming bullish divergence on the day chart. Is it? Is it forming divergence? Let's check it out. So yeah, I already did take a look at the PLS ecosystem. One guy was asking for it. I took a look at PulseX incentive token. I took a look at PHEX. Yeah. Let's see. Matic, if there's bullish divergence here. You know, it's forming. Yeah, there is a little bullish divergence here. Like right here. Slight higher lows on the RSI, but lower lows on the price. Now, if Matic were to come down lower, this RSI would also come down lower, like let me see. Yeah, this RSI would also come down a little bit lower, dipping into oversold territory. So don't forget that this is our oversold territory, that at 30 on the RSI. So if the RSI came down like here, then it would still be bullish divergence because it'd still be a higher low or a lower low from August, but a higher low on the RSI, a slight higher low. So yeah, I mean, it's still grinding its way up, to finish up this correction, but ultimately I would be expecting what's called a jump across the creek. Within our Wyckoff accumulation schematic. Okay, this is your Wyckoff accumulation schematic. You see how you creak downwards? Now, you know, it's crazy. You were bringing up Matic here and talking about reaccumulation and the jump across, because this is exactly what Wraps Bitcoin did. You had your huge, or you had your creek down, and then you have your jump across. So we're just waiting for that for Matic. Okay, this is your chop zone. on Matic. All right. So we'll check. We'll keep monitoring, and we'll see. 1inch has a massive social media following. You know, I was huge in 1inch. Like I was very deep in 1inch at one point. And yeah, you know, I market bought 1inch like a year or two ago on Bitrue, and it caused a huge wick. I accidentally market bought. I shouldn't have done that. But it caused a huge wick, and they disabled my withdrawals. Like they thought I was like manipulating the market or something like that. And they wouldn't let me withdraw for like a good 24 hours. I had to like submit all of that KYC and stuff like that. But yeah, Matic is good. You see Matic is just, or sorry, no, 1inch is good. You see it's still within its accumulation range. Now remember what I said, whenever you go sideways at the lows, that's a good thing, right? That's usually not bearish. You may have bearish moves within the range, but it's not a macro bearish sign, you know? So could come down a bit. Could come down like this, like boom, like this, and then get bought up. Like right here. Or this is the low, right here. On February 3rd. Nice Wyckoff accumulation range we've been in for almost 1,000 days. But I would be expecting the higher inefficiencies to get tagged, considering this was just one straight line down all the way from 2021 without the price retracting back to take out those inefficiencies. Let's take a look at the monthly time frame. We have a huge gap here at around the 702, 786. So let me see. Let's check out the weekly. Okay. Let's just remove that. Take a fib from the highest recorded price within this range to the lowest recorded price. And we're going to take a look at these targets here on the linear scale. Okay, here are your targets. Then we can also take a fib from the all-time high down to the low on the linear scale. Or sorry, on the logarithmic scale. Yeah, so around here is where I would be expecting. Okay. Yeah, around here. Big TP. Okay, those are your targets for 1 inch. Nice accumulation range. We may sweep the lows very slightly for your spring, or the spring is already in over here, and we're just simply coming down for what's called a test after the spring, which would be these fibs over here. Okay, see how we're on the 50%? Bulls don't want to lose this 702 at 22 cent. Otherwise, we're going to come down and sweep this low here at 20 cent very slightly for our spring. Or our spring's already in. But yeah, this is 1 inch. Looks good. Let's go back to XRP here, and then I'll pop up the chat to see what other coins you guys got. Okay, some nice buy pressure coming in over here. Notice how we have these wicks. So yeah, looking okay so far. Crazy that ETH is in the same price as December 2023. Yeah, I know, right? Just reaccumulation. Let's take a look at ETH. Remember, this is our manipulation zone. In the last live stream, I did show that we were either going to see a pop up to the higher retracements, or we were going to come down to these lower retracements, see manipulation, and then turn up from there. Okay, so we're almost in that red box that I pointed out. When we go here on the daily time frame, you see this yellow region? This is our manipulation zone. Okay. But we're going to take a look at equities. We're going to take a look at the Russell 2000. We're going to take a look at the DXY, AMD, Nvidia before we end the stream. And then we can we'll do another stream tomorrow. But yeah, this is equities over here. And there's still more upside to be seen in the economy. I don't think that global markets crash yet. I think there's still more upside here for equities. We're back above the 200-day. We may come back down to tap it as support before continuing higher. Let's take a look at the DXY. Okay, so I think the DXY is going to come down, and this is Wyckoff redistribution. Validation of this scenario would be to see weekly close below 106.402, which would be this range high. Okay, now there's a scenario in which this pops off from here, like that. That's the least optimistic scenario. The most optimistic scenario is that we come below 106.402 on the weekly, towards this 200-day moving average at 104.95, go below the 200-day, and then we for sure know that it's going to come down to 94. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Now, you know, the Russell 2000, very important chart to watch, considering a lot of our altcoins it follows in the footsteps of the Russell, the altcoin sector. And like I said in my previous stream, whenever you go below the 200-day moving average, a lot of market participants get spooked, right? So today is Monday in New York, or in America. So around this trading week is where I would be expecting a pop back up above this 200-day. I think that this is just a deviation below the 200-day, but I think we pop back up above it. You know, same thing that Nvidia did. There's so many times that Nvidia went below the 200-day, but then eventually popped back up above it. Let's check over here. Yeah, I think the Russell is okay. Russell is doing fine. Looks like an ending diagonal. Still needs one more wave to the upside. Let's take a look at Cake, see how that's doing. Okay, Cake is back at the 200-day moving average. Okay, we're just a bit below it. So I think we come down to this 618 over here at $1.97 with the possibility of wicking towards the 702. Worst case scenario, we come down to the 786 at $1.60, but that would be our invalidation level if we go below it. Yeah, so market is looking okay for now. It's looking good. Remember, like I said in my last live streams, these coins are going to be at the lows. And it's going to chop at the lows, making retail sentiment only worse. Okay, so we're at the lows on most coins, but it's just chop at the lows. So don't overthink it too much. And yeah, we should see up soon. BCB Junior, thanks a lot for that super chat, bro. Appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna end the stream. Where do you see Bitcoin going after the 2025 rally? I see Bitcoin will be in a bear market. Bitcoin will be likely below 60, 70. We'll check it out. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin. So I'm gonna end the stream. But I want to make sure that I did 5K. You know, Bitcoin, I see it going to. This is gonna be. It's a very controversial opinion, but I think that Bitcoin goes to around. Like when Bitcoin really tops out, when that macro top comes in. Yeah, around 3 to 5K probably. But that's a very, very controversial opinion. Very controversial. I mean, I could be wrong. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where the market is, but let's take a look at XRP one more time. I'm just going to give you guys some good news and bad news. But yeah, this is XRP, looking pretty good. We swept both sides of this macro range. This is what I talked about in the beginning of the live. So it's likely that the macro correction is done for this wave 4. And then now that we've swept both sides of this range here, we have chopping around to do in this range on the lower time frame. Okay, now this looks like an A, a B, and a C wave down. If this was an ABC, it would come down a little bit lower to these fibs over here. You see these fibs? 217 at the 618, $2.08 at the 702, and the last fib support being $1.99, so 1.995. Or this could be a WXY correction, meaning that the correction is already done. But in order to confirm that, I would want to see a move above 260. Okay, so yeah, that's the stream for today. Everything is bullish. Everything is going to get bullish very soon. Just remember, we're at the lows. We're chopping around. Retail sentiment is really bad right now, and that's exactly what we want to see. Because you can't bottom off positive sentiment. Remember that, guys. I'll do another live stream tomorrow. I hope to see you all there, and looking forward to analyzing all of your coins. So hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out and take it easy. I'll see you in the next one, guys.